Hi, Mark here. Cars, how fab are they? I wanted to put a little video together, really to sort of introduce myself. Oh, if I can put my teeth in, because if you're watching this on YouTube, you might have come across a video somewhere and just be thinking, okay, you know, the thumbnail looked interesting. I'm into this thing. I want to find out more about what it is, who this guy is. But I think, you know, it's important sometimes to put some context and some background into, you know, the people that you kind of meet online, especially if you're going to follow them and, you know, try and take advice from them, or you know, they're going to give you things to follow and to do in terms of, like this, for example, it's business related. So it's, you know, I'm trying to give you advice and the benefit of experience from stuff that I've had, so that maybe you won't make the same mistakes or waste money that I've wasted on things that you don't need to. So I just wanted to kind of put a fun video together where I sort of introduce who I am, really, for my YouTube channel. As you probably just saw from that shot, there's a marina behind me. I live in southern Spain. It's a beautiful part of the world down here. And it's called Grande. Maybe you've heard of it if you're, you know, around this part of the world. The point is, many years ago, I always had these aspirations of where I wanted to live, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to live my lifestyle. And I probably spent, I would say, almost 20 years now chasing that dream. And, you know, part of this kind of ties in with the law of attraction, I guess. And, you know, I'm not going to go into that in this video, but I do believe that, you know, if you think positively about things and kind of forget about them and carry on with doing stuff, that it makes a big difference and things do kind of come into effect. So I kind of had this dream. I went to France, southern France, with a load of mates of mine. I've always been into cars. I had some old Mercedes coupes back in the day. And I went to the south of France with a load of friends on bikes. I had big Kawasaki's. And I fell in love with Monaco and Saint-Tropez and the idea of kind of living a lifestyle. And at the time, the internet was very new technology. I didn't understand it. I knew I kind of wanted to get involved and offer something, but I really had no clue to what to do, to be quite honest. And you know, I really apologize if this video is a bit kind of raw and basic and unedited, but you know, I'm trying to sort of, you know, keep it real. But I kind of knew that I wanted that lifestyle, but I didn't know how to get it. And I'm sure, you know, many people who are watching this, and this is a long time ago, don't forget, and you know, if you're watching it now and you can relate to that, then you know, it's something I guess all of us have to go through, and we have to find our path, and that's kind of part of what this video is about. And I remember kind of being seduced by the look of these big super yachts and people driving around in flashy cars. And that's kind of why I made my, you know, quip at the beginning of this video about the cars. The car that I drive now it's an old car. It's almost 20 years old, funny enough. And at the time I'm talking about, this would have been a new model. It's an old Mercedes. But the car itself is symbolic, if you like. It's not about the actual car. I don't think I would have any other car right now. It suits me and I love the car. But it's about the symbolicness or the symbolism of the car, and it's about anything else which you attach some kind of aspiration to. And I think what's important is that if you have made that decision in your life that you want to aspire to something, and you have a goal or a dream or whatever you want to call it, it's really important that you keep focused on that, and somehow these things do come into your life. If they're in your consciousness and they're in your awareness, somehow you do bring them into your life, even if that's subconsciously, you know, by accepting a job that then takes you somewhere else, and then that leads you into something else, which is actually what happened in my case. So I couldn't see at that time, not for lack of trying, I've got to be honest, a way to kind of bridge that gap between what I saw. One of the problems I did have was that I was attached to the objects, if you like, and that was the wrong thing to do. It was really, you know, I wanted that thing, and I think that was an ego part of me. I was driven by my ego to kind of prove my success, maybe to somebody or to myself even, and aspire to have the thing because of what it was, not for the pleasure of what it actually gave me, which is a different thing, which is that's why I like this car, because it's old, it's fun, no one cares about it, I like it. I can drive all over Europe in it. It's comfy and it's fast and does everything. And my little girl loves it because it's got self-closing doors and air conditioning and air-conditioned seats and stuff like that. But the point is, it's the thing itself. It's what it does. It's the pleasure you get out of it. It's not about having it for the sake of it. It's not because it costs X amount of money. And believe me, it wasn't a lot of money. Like I said, it's an old car. So it's not about the money. It's about the lifestyle, about how you want to live, how you want to kind of do these things that are important to you. So without kind of rambling on and getting sidetracked, I just wanted to kind of put some context into that, because for me, it was a bit of a journey. And although I tried for a long time, you know, I learned about the internet as much as I could. I tried a few different things. And to be honest with you, I was never successful at anything I wanted to do. I was successful in other areas of my life. And I don't know why I wasn't successful about doing the thing that was most important to me. But actually, over the last couple of months, I had this epiphany, and I suddenly realized the problem wasn't anything to do with anything outside. It was in me. And I really didn't believe that I could do it. And I feel terrible for saying that, because I'm very confident generally, and I'm pretty good at most things I do, if I do say so myself. But I really had no self-belief in that this thing I would do would work. And I don't know why I attached so much weight to that. It was so important. It became such a massive thing. And I don't know if I was scared of failure, if I was just so self-conscious, which I am. I really don't enjoy being on video, but I kind of just realized that that's the media that's successful today, so you have to do it. Or, you know, if it was like the fear of success. I don't know what the thing was that held me back. So that kind of underlines with what I'm trying to help other people with. Is there's two things. One is that you have to have something to do. And that was one of the things I was working on, and I'll talk about that in a second. The other thing really, it was about the way it was done and the self-belief. So, for example, I knew I wanted to achieve these things. I could see myself kind of in my mind's eye at a certain place and doing a certain thing and living a certain lifestyle. But then how was I going to do that? You know, what mechanism was I going to use to actually achieve all that? And that was the thing really that was difficult for me. Because I tried internet marketing, and I know it's a very loose concept, but I tried kind of all these affiliate type things, and I tried setting up some websites and putting some basic products together. Nothing really worked. And I saw a few other people that were sort of, I don't know how I would describe them, really sort of contemporaries, all just getting on with it and doing stuff. And I looked at what they did, and I really was quite dissatisfied. I knew why they were doing it, and I realized that, you know, they were trying to help other people. But I couldn't identify with the way they were doing it. It just didn't feel authentic, if that's the right word to use, because I didn't want to just offer affiliate stuff for the sake of it because I wanted the money. I didn't want to do certain things because that's how everyone else was doing it. I really wanted to try and make a difference. One of the things that did hold me back was understanding the technology and all the tools that were available at the time. One of the issues that I had was actually that kept changing. And it was one of these things where what would happen is you would have a website built a specific way with a certain mechanism in place to do this and this and this, and then technology would change, and what happened, everything that you'd spent time learning how to do and to build and put into place became redundant. So that was a very disappointing area that I kept having to go through, and I suddenly realized I was doing everything wrong. And what I should have been doing was focusing on like the things that I really believe to my core. And I think one of the other things is that we all want instant gratification. And I think that's even more so now. It's troubling, really. But I realized actually, do you know what? The only way this is going to work is that I just be consistent, methodical, take my time to do the steps I need to do, and just let the things grow. And it's very hard to do that sometimes. If you're worried about money, or worried about something else, or you're worried about your health, or there's other issues going on that are pressing, sometimes they can actually be really overwhelming and stop you from making progress because you can't focus on anything properly. And it seems that you need to have an urgent fix for that now. You need to get that thing kind of sorted and resolved straight away. Whereas really your focus should be on just building things over time and letting them develop. So I don't want this video to go on and on. As I said, I can't even speak today. But it's really about just kind of the message, really. We've probably all been in a similar position where we want to achieve this thing. We're not quite sure how to get there. But if we sort of have that self-belief and kind of do something positive and take small steps, sometimes other things come in and they kind of give us a boost along that journey and send us towards that direction. I think nowadays, because it is so easy to get started with a business, because you can have a massive reach to people, and if you're focused on what you're trying to do, you can actually find those people quite quickly. and you can get your message out there quickly. You don't have to rely on printing and mailing out and all the expense and stuff like that. You know, the access to people has become much cheaper and much easier and faster. I don't think now there's any excuse other than beyond yourself where you can't get out and make stuff happen. Now, one of the things I would like to offer you if you're watching this is some access into some free information. So what I'd ask you is to look at the links below or in the bio, depending where I post this. I'm not sure what 100% what I'm going to do with this video yet, but there's some free information on my website. I'd love for you to grab that, download it, have a look and see if it helps you, because we've probably been on the same journey. We probably still are on the same journey like many others. And I think it's easy to look at ultra successful people and just think, oh, you know, it's easy for them. They've got millions of followers and they're doing this and this and this. But, you know, they all had to start somewhere. They all started with just putting something out, seeing how it went. And I think the difference between me and those successful people who are like, you know, the mega stars in internet marketing or whatever industry you want to associate with, they've just been consistent. They've taken action. They've built their following. They've kept products going. They've remained authentic. And I think the biggest takeaway for me was actually, you know, there's no more excuses to kind of be in my way, because everything's dead easy. And if these other people can do it, I can do it. So the thing I've had to get over that I realized, which was quite shocking really, all of this time was myself. The person standing in my way was me. So don't let you be your hurdle that you have to get over. If you do need some help with some actual things rather than just your self-belief, because I can try and help you with that, but I probably can't do an awful lot. You've got to kind of reach your own tipping point for that. But if you need help, like say if you're overwhelmed with trying to do things, or you're not focused, or you're not quite sure what to do, or you need some structure or some tools or some advice, please follow me, grab some free info, and I'll hopefully catch up with you sometime soon. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe if you like this kind of video. And sincerely, I wish you all the best, and I truly hope that it's helped. And if you are trying to get somewhere and to make something happen, you're not alone. Believe me, there's ways and things to be done, and I wish you all the best.